Are there ever any questions of like, why is this guy working on his website? You know, maybe he's trying to like, you know, find a new partner.
I feel like we talk too much every single day.
Who's more likely to get jealous?
I don't know. I feel like I get jealous all the time. I feel like that's part of what drives.
That's part of a relationship, right?
Well,
you guys are.
It's healthy to get jealous of each other.
I think there's a difference between the jealous that fuels you and the jealousy that ruins you.
3, 2, 1. Kevin, what's up, dude? I'm getting fucking slaughtered by the sun.
Spring sun is brutal in the office.
It's going to be great.
In the evening.
Should we do the thing where you and I talk for a really long time and make our guests sit here and just kind of nod their
I was
heads?
kind of hoping you'd bring up a West Side Gun type beat.
Oh God,
because I think we got somebody in here
to freestyle.
Bars.
Honestly, that would be ideal if I just hear watch. I don't want to.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Jordan. I don't know if you know about this, but we have a sort of freestyle rap section.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Please make him rap.
Center in the afternoon.
We have 2 guests in the house, which is a very rare occurrence for us, but it's an amazing event. 2 amazing people, 2 friends, an art director and a copywriter duo. We'll start with Jordan. Jordan Pories is a multidisciplinary creative based in New York City. Jordan has written, directed films, designed album covers, animated music videos, voice acted commercials, and developed launch campaigns for some of the world's most iconic products. That's good, Jordan. Jordan has been internationally recognized for his craft, having won Apple's very first Film Grand Prix at Cannes, as well as several Cannes Lions, D&AD Pencils, and all sorts of other awards. His work has been featured at Ad Age, Adweek, Apple Music, Bloomberg, Complex, Hypebeast, Paper Magazine, Pigeons and Planes, and is a part of the MoMA Permanent Collection. You're a part of the MoMA Permanent?
Our work is.
You guys.
Yes, our work is part of the MoMA Permanent Collection. I am still working on that for myself. I might not get there.
What piece is a part of the Permanent Collection?
There's like a advertising kind of archive. Like, don't get too excited. It's not that.
When you Google that phrase,
it sounds great.
It sounds better.
When you Google that phrase, the only thing that comes up is every art director and writer you've never heard of talking about the films that got in at the AICP Awards.
Okay. I like that it comes right after Pigeons and Planes, which is like a very small rap blog.
The blog era is back. I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about the blog era.
Yeah.
Who could forget Nah Right? Esteban Cardona Jiménez Duque Sanchez.
Good job.
Is that all the names?
Yeah.
But he goes by Esteban Cardona Jiménez for short.
Yeah.
Then I absolutely crushed that. He's an associate creative director at Coinbase. Actually, all this is in all caps, so you need to know that I'm saying it with my full chest. Previously, I was at Apple for 5+ years. Also, I love that it's in first person. I am Esteban Cardona Jiménez Duque.
You
Sanchez.
never know.
Yeah, I mean,
AI didn't write that. You know.
No, it's
That's why I
true.
like people to know that.
One of my favorite parts of being a creative is having to write the third person bio. Esteban says, "Fuck that."
I don't like that.
Graduated from the Art Center College of Design, based in Brooklyn. I don't like raisins.
I just don't like raisins.
What's up with raisins?
I don't know. Like texture, taste. I don't know.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
They're gross. They're for old people.
They have nothing going for them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hot take coming out hot, Esteban.
That's all I have, honestly.
I like raisins.
Yeah. Do you like grapes?
Raisins. I'm starting to like them.
Okay.
There's this like cotton candy grapes
yes.
that I was like,
it's
very American.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to make
probably
things like
very
sweet fruit, extra sweeter.
So I'm getting there, and no seeds. So
Yes.
I love it. It's probably not even grapes at that point.
Sometimes GMOs get a bad rap, but it's just like customization. You know?
Yeah. That's it. GMOs do get a bad rap.
Yeah.
So you guys both work at Coinbase. Creative directors. What's the title? Sorry, it's not in my notes, Kevin. What are your titles? Sorry. Do you have titles?
Associate creative directors.
Okay, sorry, I gave you guys a promotion.
Yeah,
so
thank
you're
you for
both
that.
associate
I'll take it.
creative directors. Jordan and Esteban are 2 of the most creative and amazing, talented people that I've ever met and I've ever worked with. We first met many years ago, Esteban, and you were just a little Esteban, and you were a precocious kid, but a creative one. And what age was that? When did I meet you?
That was a long time ago. That was like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2014.
Yeah, that was.
And can you tell me,
That was a
like,
while ago. Wow.
so were you living in America at that time, or
I was in college.
Okay,
That whole journey, and you helped me stay in this country, so thank you for that.
that's shout out to me.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex, who wrote a letter for immigration to help me stay, even though he didn't know me.
That's right.
I was in college. My sister won an award for the Die Line, and that was the conference in Chicago that year.
Yep.
So I was like, I have nothing to do. I'll go with you to Chicago. That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched your talk.
Yep.
And I was like, and I never do this because I literally don't like to talk to people.
That's
but
what we
here.
have that in common.
But I was like, that was sick. I'm gonna go say hello.
Ah, thank you.
And
man.
then we just kept talking. And then I realized you were a big deal. And I was like, damn. Thank God I didn't Google him before I went to talk to him.
My talk was only about Kanye West and creative confidence. And so I take all of everything I said back.
Yeah, I was avoiding saying.
yeah.
I was avoiding saying why I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me go say something. Cause
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, no, we don't talk about him,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Vultures.
I mean,
do.
he posted a fire meme the other day. Oh my
he's-
god.
He's kind of coming back, but we will, for the sake of this podcast, we'll avoid him. I guess. So you two met in a really interesting way. Can we talk about sort of the Young Apples program, or what is it called?
It's called The Orchard.
The Orchard.
that
Sorry,
for real?
I got it wrong.
it's a real
Wow.
thing.
Yeah.
So fast forward a couple of years, Esteban, you go to work for Apple,
hmm
and you get into some. What's it? It's called the.
We
Orchard?
met interviewing.
Okay, so can we tell that
When
story?
you guys are just little seedlings.
Just
Yeah.
little seedlings. Just little seedlings. They had this really interesting thing. I mean, I feel like the struggle that anyone in our industry has as you scale, right? As you I feel like oftentimes you start bringing in senior people. If you're like a high up person jumping into a place, right? Especially in-house, you bring in all the senior people under you to kind of fill out these things, and you build down, oftentimes not up. And the company had found itself at that point with a glut of that incredible senior talent and no kind of backbench of no farm system. There were no young people coming in.
farm system.
Yeah. And so
They traded all the picks.
yeah. They had no one coming in. Salary cap still way up there. And so they had this program called The Orchard that pops up every once in a while that I recommend to any young listener. And it
Is
was
it still around?
Yeah, every year.
every year.
Okay. And so it's kind of like the G League, kind of like the sort of like the minor leagues of Apple. And so they're just developing young talent, right? Is that kind of how many people get into the program?
When we started, it was only 10.
It's
We
kind
were
of-
the second class ever.
Okay.
And then I think it has grown to like 25.
Are there reunions? Do you guys like all get together?
No.
No Orchard family reunion?
But we used each other around the way. We made up some long friends.
Yeah.
Our friend Miles just joined us at Coinbase, and we met
Okay.
him through his partner. We met in the Orchard.
So you guys meet each other. What was the first impressions of each other?
Sneakers. I think
Sneakers.
we were interviewing at the same time for the same gig, pretty much. And how Apple did it back then, they fly you in, and then you have to like sit for like 8 hours in a room while people come in and interview you. But we were in the waiting room waiting
Okay, I
to
was
go
gonna
into
ask,
a room.
like sitting outside rehearsing your lines. like,
Yeah, totally. And I was like, dude, cool sneakers. And then that was that, honestly.
He had much cooler. I don't remember
What
my
sneakers?
being cool.
Oh, I knew this question was gonna come up.
yeah, of course.
I don't remember. They were cream. You used to wear them all the time, like this, like Saucony. I think they
Oh
were.
yes, those became my junk shoes, dude. After a long enough time. So
My whatever,
Wow, good
whatever
partners.
shoes.
yeah,
Whoa, nice little assist there.
yeah.
Yeah, these two, both very fashionable. And how long before you guys started like officially working as Jordan and Esteban? Do you ever go by Esteban and Jordan, or like how did you guys? Did you fight about that, or was there a conscious decision about whose name goes first on the billings?
No, I think naturally it's easier to start with Jordan.
Okay.
And then Gianni.
Janie
That's-
just was born.
Yeah.
So when did they put you together and say like you guys both got cool sneakers and you guys had a like
Cool sneaker crew.
Yeah, they're like okay, these
It's cool
two-
sneaker house.
Yeah,
No, so then there was like an email blast being like, "Congrats, all of you guys made it." It's like the fucking Hunger Games, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I was like, "Oh my god, I know this name
From
The
Steve
only
Jobs,
person I
right?
talked
Steve
to.
Jobs?
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Jobs himself.
It was
emailed
Tim
us.
at that point. Tim emailed us and was like, "Congrats."
But then we were like, I don't know anybody. You don't know anybody. We were like DMing on Instagram. We was like, you want to be roommates? Because Jordan is an art director too. You introduce him as a writer, but originally we were doing the same thing.
Got it.
And then we were like, let's be roommates. And then we were roommates. And then we had different partners, like writers. We were paired with a writer.
Got it.
And you were paired with a writer too.
Yeah. And every day we'd come home And we were again competing against all these people that are way more senior people, twice our age, twice our experience. And the only way to beat them was to outwork them, which is also very unsustainable. But that was the deal. And we come home every day and make some food and talk about the day, and then we'd sit down on our laptops to start like doing more work. And the copy would come in, and it was not a match between us and our writers. And after a certain amount of time, we looked at each other. We're like, dude, should we just be partners?
Oh, this is beautiful.
And we went to our creative director at the time, and we were like, hey, we're going to be partners. And he was like, oh, one of you has to write. Like, what's going to happen? And I was like, I guess I'll be the writer.
It's just like they were like, this goes against things. You know what I mean? Like, it's an art director and a writer team.
Yeah.
That's the way things are. And he's like, he can write. Like, what do you mean? Like,
this is like when
we can do
A-Rod
this.
came to the Yankees and he had
Yes.
to go to third base.
Yes.
Like Derek Jeter was like, I'm not giving up shortstop. And they're
Yeah.
like, but we need to make it work. And so someone had to play third base. And
What'd you say? Did you tell him what would Steve Jobs do?
So
We tried,
So you became
yeah.
a writer at that point because you were a designer.
I started freestyling. Yeah.
Where did you?
He's a rapper,
Jordan?
so he
yeah,
can
so we'll
write.
get to the rap career.
Yeah.
Don't
Wow.
worry. We'll get to Don.
Put me on blast. Don is dropping soon enough. So yeah.
Donis? Is that the album?
Don is
Don
Yeah.
is.
dropping.
Okay. Jordan, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Potomac, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get into like design? How did you start your career?
Wow. Well, my mom is from near your neck of the woods in Dix Hills.
Oh shit, Long
Long
Island,
Island.
stand up.
And so classic Long Island, going to put you on blast. My parents were like an accountant and a salesman. And they were like, you're not going to film school. You're not doing art. None of that. Which listen, if you're listening, definitely just don't do any of that. No, I was doing album covers and music videos for me and my friends and our rapping in middle school and high school.
I got it.
And I would get grounded every single time you put out another project. But it didn't work. I go to college, I'm doing more of that. And I was always like, a lot of kids come up these days, they're doing video, they're doing editing, they're doing Photoshop, Illustrator, they don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
And I figured that art direction and advertising is kind of that multidisciplinary slot.
I love this.
Yeah.
You got into being a designer and being an art director through rap.
And then I became like a full-on writer because again, it's just rapping. It just doesn't have to rhyme.
Dude,
There it is.
that's like
I like it when it rhymes though. It's cool.
Wasn't Little Dicky like an advertising
Yeah, he was a
writer or something
writer
like that?
in
He worked
Goodby,
at
at
like
Goodby.
Goodby?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I heard him talk about this once. He was like, he like rapped a report for like Doritos or something in his agency, and they were like, that was really good. Like, we want to make you a copywriter. And then he started.
It's like in
doing-
his show. Dave,
Yeah, Dave.
Like there's that episode where he actually
Oh, that's right. He did
reenacts
do it.
that
Yeah.
scene pretty
That's
much.
pretty much Jordan. Right?
Wow.
So-
he hates that. So say it again.
Anytime
Say it
I come
again.
to I make
You're the Little Dicky.
Oh man, my music is very like West Side Gun, Rock
He's
Marciano.
Baby Dick.
That's right. So let's
Yeah.
talk about the rap career, Jordan.
Oh,
Because
boy.
so we
Yeah.
met. Fast forward a couple of years, Esteban and you guys are skyrocketing Apple. What was your first big like breakthrough project? Like, what were you working on at the Orchard, and then like when did you guys have like a sort of a breakthrough?
I don't know. We're still looking for a breakthrough, but
Aren't we all, man?
in the Orchard, I think we were just so hungry. Like, I think just now we've learned to just like slow down a bit and just enjoy the ride, because it was just like we gotta fucking overwork and just
Yeah.
like go.
Hustle, grind.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like so toxic, honestly, and like it just depleted both of us to the point where it's like, what are we doing? This is not even fun anymore. But in the Orchard, we proactively came up with this thing for Apple Pay.
Okay.
That kind of put us on the map in a way, like, because it became a thing. That it was not like a brief. There was no money for it. And they were like, this is kind of interesting. Let's see where this goes.
Oh, the campaign was called "Text Me the Money," and it was all chat bubbles of people texting each other, like, the groceries, blah blah, blah, funny conversation. Let me text you the money, and here's a black chat bubble, Apple Pay chat bubble.
And then since then, they just kind of gave us bigger briefs.
I think launching Apple Card was the big
Yeah.
one. That was the one where a lot of people were working on it, but no one thought it was very cool because it's a credit card and there's iPhones coming, and getting to do that. And it's so funny. It was one of those things. It's not very sexy. It's a credit card, right? Some people
Yeah.
do stuff like that, but figuring out the puzzle of it, of how do we make this interesting? What is interesting? Why should people think about money when they don't want to, and things like that? I think that taught us that all our favorite projects we've ever done are about
related to money. I just realized that. Yeah, the through line is to
my
crypto.
God.
You know?
Absolutely not.
We're shilling
Yeah,
crypto.
you guys are really into tech and money. That's
No.
what you guys are about.
I think we're really into really boring things.
Yeah.
And really complicated things.
Or honestly, I think what we learned there was let's go where nobody's looking. Like I think everybody was trying to get the iPhone brief, and we were like, you know what? It's not worth fighting against 20 other teams that are 10 times better than us. Like, give us the thing nobody wants, and then we can play there.
This is a good teachable moment for in-house because I experienced this as well. This is a real earnest design tip. If you work in-house, like there are going to be the big sexy projects that everyone like wants to work on, and then everyone's going to care about and overmanage and micromanage. But then there's going to be like projects that are sort of a little bit sort of under the radar. And like those are the ones that are the most fun to work on. That was me in Powerade, because Powerade, like Coca-Cola is not the like sexiest brand. Gatorade dominates the brand. And so when I was working in house, I got to work on Powerade for a little bit, and we started to do like really fun things. We hired Wyatt and Kennedy. And,
Cool.
like, we did a bunch of cool things, but I would always say the same thing. It's like it's the brand that like people aren't paying attention to that much, so you can kind of do more creative things. And so it sounds like that's something that if you're working in house, maybe that's a good tip. It's like find the things that people are kind of
Also, like the big brands, I feel like big brands, they're just too big now. I don't know. And the big products between the big brands is like it gets to a point that it's just repetition. So like you're just coming in to play into like the formula, and it's like I don't know. There's not much.
It makes
room to
sense.
do much.
Can we talk about Escape from the Office? How many years? So you guys get hired at Apple. And you're there full time. Woo! And then how long, until Escape from the Office? And like, what was that brief, if there was one?
No, the brief was we were on a team that didn't make the there was a team that owned the Underdogs franchise of those 4 characters in the films they make.
Okay.
We were not on that team. And
The franchise. Fine.
and we whatever.
The
But they're
Underdogs.
making a lot of them.
Everyone knows about the Underdogs.
And
What are the
yeah.
underdogs?
Kevin, you didn't watch the video?
I watched the video. Oh, those 4 people are the underdogs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the original film. It was a 3-minute film with very little dialogue. That was them really doing it. It was like the best montage ever. Then in Work From Home in COVID, they did that advertising famous, not real person famous, ad about 7-minute film of them all doing this. It was the only commercial that came out during COVID because they made it all through the devices.
It's long. It's a long spot. Yeah. That original one. And then you guys were like, we can make a longer one.
Well, we sat there and we were like, what do we want to do? We were on this treadmill of constant product drops. They were getting less and less interesting to us. And we were like, what do we want? Why are we at Apple? Like, what do we want out of our lives? It was like, let's make a big thing. So we literally switched jobs to the team. We interviewed and got hired by the team that does that.
We switched teams. Yeah.
And they already had an idea in pre-production, and it died. And the next day, we came to the creative directors. Esteban made a slide. The cover slide was a grave. And we were like, so sad, RIP. We heard what happened. The next slide was like, and we have an idea for the next one.
Wow.
We were already working on the one for the next year. Like that was our whole thing. It's like, let's come to this team. They're already working on the one for this year, but like, let's just work on the one for next year and get ahead. And that one died. And we're like, okay, let's just fucking do this. Let's just present this, even though it was really bad and undercooked.
Yeah.
And our CD then, she was like, yeah, this is not good, but there is a nugget of something interesting. Keep going and see what happens.
And just so people at home, like at a company like Apple, which we can't talk too much about the inner workings, but
Yeah, be
like
careful.
you guys were on different teams. So you're saying like at some point you're like on the Apple Pay squad, or you're on like working on credit card, or you're working on the phone, or you're working on, in this case,
Business.
So you
It's
guys
a
are kind of
B2B.
moving
It's a B2B
around.
story. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you tell how long is it? 8.5 minutes?
Yeah. Almost 9.
Yeah.
9-minute spot about Escape from the Office. 4 main characters kind of in COVID, right? It's a story about COVID. I only saw the first 2
It's
minutes.
a story.
It's too long.
Good, good. Yeah.
My
It's 2 years
attention
old.
span
It's 2 years
Don't
old.
blame you.
They quit their job. They quit their job with their evil boss and started their own business using Apple products. And it started with, for me, the inspiration was a really horrible boss I had in my first job as a junior art director in Boston. And he was awful to me. And I know so many people who've had the same stories, right? Of like, there's good people and really bad bosses. And the idea for me,
I've never had one, but
of heroing someone who screw what the film is about and the commercial of it all. Can we pay to have someone tell off their boss in a beautiful monologue and what comes out of that?
It's got a pace to it too that I think is really fascinating. And we'll talk about some of the new stuff you're doing at Coinbase, but I couldn't help but notice there's a similar pacing, I think, to some of the stuff that you guys do in terms of just like how fast it happens, how quick dialogue comes. And it's funny, I see like the through line from Escape from the Office to some of the new crypto commercials
It's funny.
Yeah.
People say that. And I was like, what is it?
You got a style.
know.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good thing.
Yeah. And so you make the spot, you guys win Grand Prix at Cannes.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the highest award in the industry. This is like winning Best Picture at the Oscars.
Mm.
And Jordan, do you want to tell this story? Because I think it's one of the funniest things ever.
We were here, by the way, when that happened.
So we were working together, and you guys got a call, and you're like, "You got to go to France. You got to go to Cannes."
That's crazy,
And I was like, "Damn, this is sick. These guys are going." And then you guys win. I mean, I guess they probably knew you were going to win. And so you go on stage, you get announced, and Jordan beats Esteban to the stage by 30 seconds.
I'm a speed walker. I thought they were right behind me.
I don't know. I feel that just like it speaks to us in a nutshell.
Yeah. Someone was really excited, and someone was like, "I'll take my time." And I
Well, yeah, I feel that that's it, right?
Yeah.
The balance of crazy energy, and then I'm like, yep, here we go.
Yeah. Oh God, I gotta get up and go
No,
collect this
but
award and go on stage. So,
what's the rush?
Jordan, can you tell the story of what happens in the 30 seconds when you get on stage?
Oh man, I got to take my jacket off for this.
Because it's a great story.
So I went to Boston University, and there's not that many people I've gotten to know in advertising who went to Boston University. And one of them, though, was David Lubars of BBDO fame.
No one knows who that
No one
is.
knows. David Lubars, advertising legend.
I know him.
Sorry.
I got his
Yeah.
autograph.
Yeah, sorry, David Lubars.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And so he's presenting this award, and I'm like, oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
David Lubars. Sorry. Everyone knows who you are. He's literally in the Creative Hall of Fame at the One Club. Sorry.
He's
There's a
incredible.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I'm working towards it.
Wow.
Trying to put my resume together. Okay, go.
Well, not anymore, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not. I cut that part, Kevin. Okay, cool. David Lubars, an absolute legend of the game from Boston University.
Boston University. I get up on the stage. I take the trophy from him. I shake his hand and I lean in and I want to tell him, like we went from the same, we cut from there's a cloth here. So I tell him,
what did you say?
I said, I went to BU, and I shake his hand, and he doesn't give me the face I wanted. And I thought I said the wrong thing. Did I get the wrong guy? And he looks at me and he says, I want to be you too. And I just turn, I face the audience, and I'm just like, fucking A.
That's when you knew you
That
made
is-
it.
that
the
Was that
only
was that
way.
into the mic? Did he say that into the mic?
Can you see it? Because you do like the camera, because it's filmed.
Yeah.
It they announce the awards, they film you, they film the crew, or they try to find the crowd, and they immediately pin onto Jordan because he's halfway to the stage. And so I bet this is on capture.
It definitely is. Everybody can go check it out online.
What a
Please
polite
do.
thing to say.
Yeah,
to
I wanna be
to
you.
that. I
Yeah.
want to be you too.
David
Yeah.
Lubars,
A man
legend
of
of the game,
class.
A true reciprocator.
Hall of Famer.
A giver.
Hall of Famer. That rules.
Yeah.
And so you guys come back, and the glory here. We give you the champagne.
Yeah, you got us
showers
bottles
as
of
you
Vouv.
guys-
It was really
as
nice.
you guys return. We continue to work on our Apple project, which we won't talk about for fear of being blackballed from Apple again. We do an amazing campaign called Mac Does That. Tim Cook himself said the best campaign I've ever seen. Right,
Mhm.
right, guys. Yes. There was one text I think where I got where it was like, Tim likes it. I was like, that's fucking sick.
That is sick.
That is
Honestly,
that's
that is
super.
true.
That's
It's true.
super sick. And everything was going great. Everything was cool.
I mean, it
We were
was
doing
a
some-
huge moment for the Mac. I don't know with that. It's the first time they were telling stories.
That's yeah. If you haven't seen the campaign,
Yeah, you guys
Mac does
cracked
that.
it.
These guys created it. I always say that, and then came to our little studio and said, let's make some magic together. And it was a great summer. Was that 2 summers ago?
That was
now?
2 summers
which
ago.
is crazy.
And
Man,
what was
Time
something
flies.
we talk about all the time when we work with there's other creatives or other studios and whatnot is people, whether they are afraid of simplicity or not. Some people are afraid to bring almost nothing. And what made us want to work with you, besides the fact that we knew who you were, but the thing that did it was
Wow.
yeah, right. Was
Simplicity.
blank
I like
slides.
it. So
It's-
we're thinking nothing is there. But then
I don't think
there's a cursor.
Absolutely.
You put a cursor
Boom, boom,
next
boom,
to the
boom,
Apple
boom.
logo.
Then words.
I don't
then-
know. There was thinking like, I
Yeah.
mean, like all of these things go. We bring other potential design studios to be like, who's gonna kill this one and make it really good. And it was we were getting worried because the two others in the running, we were like, oh no, I don't know if this is gonna be. It seems like this is tough.
Shout out
And you
to
guys came in, and I was like, thank God. And honestly, I was like, I know this person.
Yeah,
He's
you
really
gotta
good.
vouch for them. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got
yeah,
this
yeah,
great studio. Then I was like, oh God.
Hope
like,
they don't fuck this up and make me look bad.
not
listen,
maybe
that's
look bad, but it's
fair.
like at Apple or any other big place, it's like changing who you work with is a whole thing. Systems to get through, people get uncomfortable, money on the line, and it's like if your first time trying it out is not great, it's really hard to kind of get another.
No,
chance.
that's totally
Yeah.
fair. And I've been there on the in-house side where you're like, I'm vouching for these people, and it's like they're gonna kill it. You gotta see, and then you're like, oh god,
Sweaty.
yeah,
Yeah.
You're like, I hope they kill it. And no, thank you guys.
And you
I
guys
mean,
did. You did a great job.
Yeah.
It was a really fun one, and I always say that we treated it like it was going to be a Super Bowl commercial,
Mhm.
even though it was going on LinkedIn, primarily. But it wound up kind of getting more airplay and getting more sort of media sort of placements because it didn't necessarily feel like a ad for a web banner or something. This is the part where the sun is just going to kill me. But no, it was a really fun one, and we made a bunch of videos, and then we translated them to so many languages. And I still see them.
They're
I still
everywhere.
I still
Yeah.
get fed
Yep.
them.
I
And
walk past Best
TikTok,
Buy and I see it across all the MacBooks, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it still
It
lives.
has a life of its own.
Yeah, it's out there. And then you guys decided to bail.
Oh yeah.
You guys make the decision to leave Apple after how many years were you guys there?
5.5.
5+.
5 plus.
Did you not read the bios, Alex?
Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, sorry, man.
Somebody's paying
5 plus,
attention.
5+ years. And I think that's a pretty bold move. Obviously, as most people dream of working at Apple, you had done it for a while. You've gone from the orchard to the farm, and
We're a full Apple at that point,
you were a
yeah.
fully formed Apple.
Yeah.
And we fell off.
You fell off the tree.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough. It took a while to make the decision. Like, I think my mom is still processing probably. I think that was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough on the mothers who are very proud to say, like,
Uh,
my son works at Apple.
mhm.
Yeah.
I experienced that as well.
Yeah. Now she says he works at Bitcoin.
But even in Colombia, it's like Apple is like, wow.
Of
And
course.
now it's like Coinbase. What is that? Like, how do you even say that? It's like, oh God.
So you guys joined the Coinbase crew, and sort of what was your kind of, what was your headspace, I guess, at that moment when kind of like going from Apple, obviously a much bigger company, I would imagine. I don't know how many people are at Coinbase, but I imagine it's a much smaller creative operation over there.
We were the first creative team hired by our boss, Michael Tabtabai,
Cool.
who had just got brought in to build a whole create. We had gone from an institution in advertising to a place that had run one commercial, the QR code, and that was it.
That was
That was
fire.
a great commercial.
Fire commercial.
though.
That's
Yes.
why we were like intrigued.
Yeah. You're like,
Because-
these guys take chances.
Because that's almost nothing. They spent millions of dollars doing almost nothing,
But-
and it was
yeah.
hugely successful.
We talked to a lot of different places. It was just like more of the same type of thing. Like we could do that, but it's like just feels like I'm not like too scared. I don't know. And then Jordan reached out on LinkedIn. It's a cold message.
Wow, I like that.
Cold
Sparky.
message.
Yeah. You're like, hey,
Well, every job we've ever gotten, this is something I got friends looking at jobs right now, and I'm always doing crazy. They look at the job listings, and they're such a victim to the job listings. And every job we've had either was from a message or a cold DM, or they had one role, a senior role, and they split it into 2 junior roles, which is what happened at Coinbase. It always goes down in the DMs.
that's a good lesson, though.
Goes
I do
down in
think
the DMs.
I think people need to know that is if you're just going to wait for that job to come to you, it's not going to. Especially the dream job. Like you can maybe sometimes land a job, but if you want a job that you're excited about doing and something that's going to really inspire you, like you're going to have to go out and track that thing down.
Yeah.
So that's a cool part of the story. That Super Bowl commercial with the QR code just bouncing around. I remember watching the game and being like, I don't know who has the balls to do this, but whoever does is genius. And then at the very, very end, it was just like quick Coinbase logo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, that's courageous, because those commercials cost a lot of money and they're not putting their brand on it. And it just was, it's kind of like the, Sopranos ending. You're just like, why is the screen black? Kind of gives you that same kind of like jarring, because it also had no sound, or it had like very minimal sound, if I remember.
It was like very like
was like
lo-fi
elevator
yeah,
music.
Yeah. Like it felt like the whole, game and commercials, which are also loud, just kind of like stopped. And you're like,
it cut
okay,
through.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally cut through.
Yeah, we've been trying to chase it ever since.
They're just like, give me something like that QR code, the bouncing QR code.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like the North Star for us was we need to go somewhere where there's one tension. I feel like we're tension chasers.
Attention.
Some
That's
people
where the
chase
ben-
attention. We chase the attention.
Oh,
Yeah.
bars. Boom.
Yeah, because I feel that that's where the best work comes from. You gotta be pushing against something, a challenger brand, for a better, lack of a better word, just like somebody who's trying to get attention and like.
Neither of us were crypto.
I was going to
people.
ask, how much did you know about crypto?
Yeah. When did you join too? Because I feel like you guys kind of joined at a very interesting point
Oh,
in crypto in the
funny
in the
question.
saga.
We signed the offer letter. Get this. Thanksgiving is coming up, and you leave your job at Apple to go work for crypto, and then literally 2 days later, FTX goes down, and Coinbase was down for a day, and there was a big question of, what happened? We got a note from our boss, thank God, who was like, "Don't worry, your jobs are safe. Like, we're excited to have you. Everything's good." That was a rough Thanksgiving, but then we came out like a cannon. Again, this company is fearless, and it was like, we're going back on the airwaves. We're getting our CEO out there, and we got to work with Chivo. So it was a
It was
roller
hard.
coaster.
Though.
Tension.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was like, what have we done? There's still time to turn around. We just put our 2 weeks in. Like, we can still say, like, no way.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Sleepless nights. Like,
Yeah.
the stock price went so low. I kept checking. I was like, is this gonna go down? Like, what have we done?
People
like,
at Apple like thought we were joking. A lot of people didn't really, and then we like were gone, and they were like, "Oh my god!"
lots
They
of
weren't
jokes.
kidding.
Yeah.
And the offer letter came in. I was already planning to move to New York. It might have been it for old Jordan and Esteban, because I was done with SF. I wanted to move to New York. I was sitting in my vacant apartment. My new lease had been signed. The movers had already come and taken my things away, and I'm sitting there, and I get the job offer in that night, and then I go to the airport. So it
Dang.
really all came down to the wire.
And they're like, 1 Bitcoin each for this job.
Do you guys get paid in real money or do you guys get paid in crypto?
What do you mean real money?
You're right.
What
you're right.
is real money? We get paid in the dollar,
You're right.
and we're building the future.
That's a very disrespectful question.
Sorry, I was
Honestly-
disrespectful about the Bitcoin offer too. Sorry. 3 Bitcoins.
No, it's
each.
not one big.
Honestly, you can choose to get paid on crypto if you want.
You
but
really?
Yeah.
That's something that's possible.
Yeah.
Did you make that decision, or no? You said we'll take
Not
the
yet,
cash.
still working out the kinks.
but
So-
you can choose.
So say there were someone out there listening, and they're just like, this Bitcoin thing, this cryptocurrency, I still don't fully get it.
Me
You know,
neither.
say there was someone out there. How do you guys explain it, layman's terms, to dummies, like just say someone like me out there that's like, I got Bitcoin, I got my wallet, and I put away my my $400 in 2017.
Yeah.
How do you sell it? Sell us on the future of crypto.
I think the biggest flaw is the name, cryptocurrency, because that just minimizes it, and the head goes immediately to like very simplistically just money.
Mm.
But
Bad
a way
branding.
to understanding is like a software update to like financial rails. Bitcoin is just an expression of that, which is the first one. But then there's just different. It's a software update.
And
Correct.
and I'll tell you, I'll bring it down to earth. Is if you, like, Esteban sends money to his parents in Colombia quite often, and you can send a WhatsApp in a blink of an eye. And why does it still take 3 to 5 business days to get money there? And that's when you're like, oh, like things like Venmo or like these little domestic masks. It's still like they're settling it on the back end. They're fronting you money right now. Crypto is just money that moves like a DM. And I
But
would
for real. Like,
yeah.
No, I think that's
That's how it works.
Bar, dude.
I
Yeah.
think it's funny because I remember when you guys first took the jobs, and then a commercial came out that you guys, I don't believe were a part of, but maybe it was right before, like it was like,
Yeah, right before you joined. Yeah.
and I think that's probably the best explanation of crypto for someone that's like, I always think like, how does this relate to people? Like, how do people understand it? And it's just like, it's a better way to send money and spend money that doesn't require you to wait 3 to 5 days or sort of like get killed with a whole bunch of fees. And, it corrects a lot of the things that are sort of wrong about our current currency that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really smart way to try to get people to understand it. It's like, you don't need to know how the blockchain works.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just the same with the internet. You don't know what is happening, but
Yeah.
you're like using the internet. We'll get there, but like one thing we learned, the cool thing about this is that at least personally, like learned so much of like, I'm like, there's no way I would have gotten this deep if I wasn't working here. That is like cool to just keep learning kind of random things, but just the code running the global financial system is from 1959, which I'm like, how and why?
It's like when you go to the airport and you're in this lovely new terminal, LaGuardia, right? And everything's,
Beautiful.
I feel like I'm in the
Gorgeous.
Jetsons.
Yeah, they
and
did a
then
good job.
you lean over the counter and you see what's on the screen.
Yeah.
And it is DOS. It is black. It is green and black technology. People don't realize that money is something that needs an update. And I think that, again, that's that tension. It's like, like we're not just selling you a new tech product you have 15 other versions of. We're selling you a completely new paradigm, which sounds very crypto to say. So.
No, yeah. I don't want to call you guys crypto boys, but you guys
no.
are the boys of crypto. But I agree with you. It's like, I'll take it one step further. It's like, I don't know how a microwave works.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I know that it heats up my food fast.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I like that part of it. And I like that I can reheat something and eat it quickly. So
I
it's
agree.
like, you can just send people money and they get it. And you don't have to sort of go through the sort of banking system, which I think we all know, like everyone has banking, like apps and different, they're all the same and they're all pretty weirdly strange. Like they have things that we just take, we just, sort of have to deal with, whether it's like fees or just like random things where you're like, oh, it'll be there in 3 to 5 days, or pay someone and you're like, it's in a wire and it's in a sort of ether and you'll get it soon. And and they charge you. And so it's like all these things that are just like actually just human pain points of money that don't have to be there.
Adobe felt like this unmovable rock, and then Figma happened.
Yeah.
These things happen all the time.
It is complicated still. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. There's a lot of crazy things happening. Not gonna lie. Just like early days of the internet, like just people which using something for like abusing shit, like, you know what I mean, and the system, whatever. But I think there's a lot of good and like just, I don't know, pain points that I've experienced personally. Half of my family is still in Colombia, like countries where the currencies are not super strong compared to like the dollar forever. Like inflation here is bad, but like in Argentina is like 80%. I don't know. Colombia is like double digits, like 30%.
You go to the store every day, the prices are different. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like you can save now in like digital dollars, which is a very common thing down there, which is like your money is growing. Or it's like it's access to like,
You're able to get the same 5% interest rate you can get in America because the dollar's accessible because it's digital. And
So-
that's something that is just not possible without crypto.
Bars.
yeah.
In terms of like that bad rap of like Bitcoin, crypto, kind of like sort of people trying to get rich, I think is probably the biggest problem. That it's like it's got that sort of reputation of like, I'm trying to like it turns into stocks
Casino.
and gambling and sort of just like it's one step away from sort of like DraftKings, which
Yep.
it's not.
No, I was reading that great book by the founder of Frog Design about
David Lubar's.
David Lubar's. That's about his early work with Steve Jobs in like the pre-Next, before Johnny Ive, like back when it was like all this stuff is everything. The computers were complicated, and Steve was like, I have a vision, but I can't get there. And all this stuff reminds me of like how in early computer days, the people developing the technology were so enthralled by the technology that they would really miss the point of like, yeah, but it's really scary and really expensive and really difficult. Like, how do you get people on this? And Coinbase feels like the one right now in the industry that is focused on like, how can we make people almost forget the technology and just build the easy experience that you don't even think about it?
Can we talk about some of the things you guys are doing currently and with like NBA promos? So you guys did like all-star activations. You guys have a new commercial. Can you talk about some of the sort of things you're doing?
I mean, playoffs happening right now, like lots of Coinbase commercials you're gonna see there, and it's again. I think our jobs coming in as outsiders is like, how do we tell this story in terms that people would first care about and to like understand something. So nobody wants to talk about money. Nobody wants to talk about crypto.
And no one likes ads. We hate watching ads on the TV. So,
but people like pizza.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn right.
So lean there. That's our genius idea.
Like,
the campaign.
I think I want to
basketball.
slice the pie.
Yeah. It's a metaphor for money. But I think I just watched a spot. So it starts out with someone like orders pizza, but then it gets sliced in the sort of middle, which is that great like thing that people expose on TikTok where people are taking like the middle out of a pizza before you even get it, which is like straight to hell, or prison. Really, actually, is what you should be. And then people take like little bites out of it, and people are constantly,
I think it's the idea of like if money, if anything else worked like money, like we wouldn't be okay with it. And it's just like picturing the process of ordering a pizza and it going through like a very outdated, complicated system like money does, while everybody's taking a bite of your money. And then you get a pizza full of bites. Like, do you really want that?
Yeah, it's a really great spot. And it does have a little bit of that energy of Escape from the Office and some of that fast-paced stuff. And it's because Jordan talks so fast, right? That's what the general sort
gotta
of
slow
vibe is?
down, dude.
We get really bored easily.
He likes to cram a lot of words into a very short amount of time. That's why all of our spots are 15 seconds, but like, sort of multiple sort of paragraphs.
For all this shit I talk about, the people like Lil Dicky, it is just like white guy raps fast type beat. You know what I mean?
All right, let's go to rapping.
No.
So Don Barron is your rap alter ego, and Jordan, I when I met you, I immediately I liked you. I immediately was like, this is someone I want to spend time with. He's very creative, smart, sort of just has
There's the catch.
Just has a way about him that is like, you could sell me anything, and the way you're passionate, and I love that so much. And so we're working together for a while, and then it comes out that you have a rap alter ego named Don Barron. And my first thought was, oh no, I really don't want to listen to this.
That's how everyone says that.
Really don't want this because it's going to change everything in my.
Well, and the funny thing is, you didn't say that to me.
No, I didn't.
So how could you?
I couldn't say that to you. So I fired up the old YouTubes and I put on a Don Barron music video. And you can spit, man. You're a good rapper, and you bring your sort of art director kind of sensibilities, and it's about money as well. You are very, a lot of your raps are about the system, and it's got a New York energy. So talk about sort of like your side project of Don Barron for a second.
Wow. Well, look, the two of us are very compelled.
This is your platform,
That's lovely.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, that's why you came on to promote your new album.
That's what I thought. Fellas, it took too long to get here. I got 3 Rock Nation people just at the camera. They're telling me what to say.
Your agent's here, yeah.
No,
there,
the two of us are very compelled by systems. I feel like I rebuilt my whole concept of what an art director is working with Esteban and kind of understanding what makes something good versus what makes something a thing. And for years, as a guy who rapped but didn't really, right, it's like an artist concept. It's like a brand of like, who am I? What is the artist project? What is this? And it took a long time to figure out how to square, honestly, my Bernie Sanders voting record with gold chains and rapping about Rolls Royces. And yet I had, and it finally clicked with me that like maybe the character is the villain. I am the enemy.
Yeah.
And
anti-hero.
It felt like a great release. And so I have a new song coming out in a couple months. It's called The Necessary Cost of Doing Business.
Damn right.
This rules.
And it's all about, Seychelles types dudes,
Yeah. It's really good. And so I was like, honestly, the feeling when I watch a video and listen to it, I was like, it was relief. I was like, oh God, thank God. This is actually good. And you have sort of a rapper voice in a way. You kind of have a different, slightly different sort of sounding tone to your voice. And it's legitimately good. And I know you're a big hip hop fan, so
streaming in all of the platforms right now.
Yeah, streaming on Spotify.
Go check it out.
Listen to the discretion.
Esteban, what's your side project? Yeah, you got a
no side project.
Nice.
Yeah, DJ career coming up.
He's got 2 cats.
Yeah,
2 cats.
They're pretty cute. I looked at them.
Thank you.
That's
2
the kind of research
sisters.
we do around here.
Yeah.
We
Good
checked
job.
out your
Good
cats.
job. Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, but it's an amazing kind of thing, and like I said, you guys both have like really good websites. Check them out, and I feel like you guys kind of like I was looking at both of them. Esteban, yours is pretty new, and it's got a lot to it, and it's really cool. It's really well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
You can like click and drag everything. It's very interactive. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's sick. So Coinbase MBA, why MBA? Just out of curiosity, just kind of feel like that's kind of the right audience that you guys are trying to get, or do you have any sort of feelings of like why the MBA is kind of basketball just makes sense for Coinbase?
We inherited the whole team we started, formed, right? Again, quite just before we got there, and they inherited this deal that was signed during like the peak of the crypto bull run. It's funny how these things go. And at first it was like this liability coming out of this crypto crash. Oh my goodness, why are we on a world stage? Maybe we shouldn't be. And then we realized, oh wait, no, this is our ticket to make sure every other quarter we have a big campaign we have to make. And go figure, right? A year and a half later, now it's the perfect thing for us.
Yeah, they even sponsor some of the back sort of safety boards or whatever the hell they call those things.
Yeah, you guys are on the court.
Yeah, and on the court.
I mean, we're like
Skims
Knicks partners. Like, I think it's like NBA official crypto partner, and then Knicks and Bulls.
Oh, cool.
Listen, the
Shout out
powers
to
that
Knicks.
the powers that be want to put crypto in court. We
Yeah,
put
yeah,
crypto
on the LED
on the court.
courts, like for All Star.
Bars.
Yeah, Adam Silver's a big crypto guy, right? That's what I've read.
A lot of NBA players, Kevin Durant, had a strong affiliation with Coinbase in the early days. All these.
I think
players
it's
love
just
crypto.
mainstream. Like,
Yeah.
we just want it to be where people are at, and just like
No, it's perfect.
be normal.
Crypto
what
is
we
as
keep
normal
saying.
as Wi-Fi.
Just
Be normal.
Be normal.
Be
normal.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't make it weird.
Yeah, don't make it weird. Yeah, crypto, don't make it weird.
Moonshot was the thing you guys did at the All Star game. Talk
Mm-hmm.
to me about that sort of concept.
It's all trying to infuse some sort of benefit, and it just came all from speed, and just like how can we make people feel that without like preaching. And the whole idea was just like, can you score as far as crypto? And we partnered with an amazing like spatial design studio. They're called Hovercraft. They do all of the work for like Nike and Jordan, all of those stores.
Well, they had told us we have a 40 by 40 foot space at like the NBA. They call it the crossover, which is like the convention that happens during the day, during the whole weekend, because people go to All-Star weekend. They have nothing to do outside of the night events.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. And every brand shows up. They do big things. Jordan has this big basketball court, and State Farm had this State Farm zone and like whatever. And so, yeah, we were like, how do we have fun and not just be a lame brand, and then B, still make it make sense and have to do with crypto? And so this idea of scoring as fast as crypto, and this concept of space and going out of this world and like moon and all that language kind of came together in this great kind of quasi video game.
And we did a lot of like NFT type on-chain stuff without people realizing they were doing it. Like, we're just trying to enable like you just use crypto, like, and it wasn't scary or hard. Like,
Hundreds of
now you
people
know.
minted NFTs to unlock their merch, and they had no idea that it was NFTs, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Before we get you guys out here, because it's been great, and we got to talk about one of the most pressing issues of this year and this time. And we almost talked about it last year or last week.
last year, wow.
we actually have been talking about it since last year.
Yeah.
So, and that is Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is someone that we. This show is he used to be our avatar on Instagram.
That's
because
right.
we just he gets into wild and crazy things. Like, he's constantly doing side quests. He's constantly like
Out here being Zuck.
yeah, he's just
Yeah.
sucking it up all over the place. And so we find it endlessly funny. We always kind of make fun of him. Remember, he put like all the sort of
Oh, yeah.
sunscreen on his nose.
He's just
and
being safe.
he's just being Zuck out there. And I think the latest Zuck incarnation is possibly my most intriguing to me, which is he's known as a guy that dresses in a uniform. He only wears sort of like, sort of gray sweatshirts and blue shirts. And most recently, he's been looking buff because he's been doing UFC training. And he's also seems to have gotten a stylist.
Yeah, you saw the jacket.
Yeah.
More than a stylist.
Yeah, he's
You
got.
think he's got a squad?
I think it's one of the most excellent, like, like CEO, like, okay, founders are in, right?
Yes.
Founders are in. We're seeing all these founder-driven companies with strong CEO persona leaders.
Correct.
And that is often driving, like the whole stock market is being propped up by like 7 stocks, and each
Correct.
of those companies, maybe aside from Apple, has a very strong public personality at the top. And with Zuck, right, he was losing on a lot of fronts. The Meta thing did not work.
Yeah.
The headset thing, it was just not as great as the Vision Pro. And the AI thing, he didn't get the jump on. But what he did get the jump on is becoming the cool guy.
Fits.
CEO PR 101. It was amazing.
And they've been trying to make him likable for so long. They're like, look
Just
at
be
him.
normal.
Yeah, he could just be
Just
normal.
be normal. He's doing little selfie videos holding the lavalier mic.
Yeah,
Like, he's
yeah.
on the couch.
Yeah,
I think muscles helped. Like
100%.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, working out and
Yeah.
because it's like he was barbecuing and he
Sweet
was doing
baby
all this
Ray's,
other
baby.
stuff, and he was like, "I'm normal. I eat meat," and we're just like, "Okay,
Smoking
dude,
meats.
like, yeah, smoking meats." Like it just wasn't clicking. But little chain, big shirt, cool guy era Zuck. I think this is working. I'm with you, Jordan. Like
Yeah,
I think
it's-
this is the path. It's just like stylist, get him some oversized shirts, get him some cool looking pants, get him a cool jacket.
I also feel like he lay low for a bit, and then Elon came in, and he's insane. And then you
Yeah.
just have a villain, and then all of a sudden he can come out being like, "You see, I wasn't that bad, and
Yeah.
now look at
Totally.
me."
Honestly,
Yeah.
Threads, no one talks about it, but like Threads, which no one uses anymore
Terrible.
too.
Yeah.
Threads did it. When Threads came out,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was the normal guy.
Yeah, for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We were all threading. We were thread heads. Remember, Kevin?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, big time. And haven't even looked at it since. But no, you're right. It's partly because he's like, the bar's so low
Yeah.
that like Bezos and Musk are like, those guys just are going to do weird and terrible things that no one can relate to. And just they're going to wear cowboy hats and like try to get to the moon.
The worst.
Yeah.
Zuck wearing a shearling coat and going to a UFC fight, we're like, that's our guy.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing, which maybe I can't tell how much of this is being yourself versus being this crafted image they come up, but it gives this vibe of he's finally like, yeah, I got these macadamia trees for my cows. Like these are I'm not trying to fit into other people's interests. These are my interests.
Yeah.
And
I'm really, really rich.
and that honestly, but like your whole posture changes when you start.
Yeah,
to
he's like
accept
not scared anymore
who
or
you
something.
are.
Yeah.
He's like,
I agree with what you're
he
saying
can
too.
blink now.
And I'll say this is that maybe we were talking about our breakthrough way back then is when we decided to make the work that feels like us versus feels like what our creative director wants. That changed everything. And I think Mark took that lesson from us.
That's the best advice though for creatives is
Yeah.
like do the stuff that you actually want to do and do stuff that you would be excited by
Because people
and that
get
you would
excited
want,
around it.
and,
Yeah.
It'll be
otherwise
better
it's-
than anything else you do. And like people will realize you have a style you didn't even know you had.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think the beard too, like he didn't even come up with that beard. Someone gave that beard to him. And like people are saying he looks hot.
People
He
are
looks
saying
good.
that Zuck fucks.
That's what they're saying. Is that
He looks
Zuck
good.
is-
I believe it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I
But
think-
then he replied on Instagram stories. He just posted like a Gillette, like a razor.
Yeah.
Like answering to
No,
that meme.
he's
He's
in
like,
on the
his team
joke.
is so good.
he's becoming self-aware.
I
Yeah.
wonder if someone on the team who
AI
wanted
is
him to
getting
grow
so
that out,
good.
if
Yeah.
they just snuck that on the internet to try and sell that.
I have a sneaking suspicion that he's not able to grow a beard.
I can relate.
Wow,
I don't
can
think-
relate.
calling him
There's
out.
nothing wrong with it.
Wait,
I wish
yeah.
he could. He'd look great.
He would
with
look
it.
better.
Yeah.
Clearly, everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's been proven. But
I'm sneaking Rick Ross into the conversation.
okay, yeah, let's
Rick
go.
Ross dropped last night the music video to his diss track against Drake, Champagne Moments, and you get a lot of very crispy shots of his face, and he's using the treatments. That is
Beard
not
moment?
real beard.
Yeah, that beard is
Oh.
fucking manicured.
That beard is printed on his face, and I
Yeah.
swear Zuck
That's
could do the
AI.
same
That's
thing.
an AI beard.
It's an
Oh
AI
yeah,
beard.
Zuck could definitely buy the best beard ever.
Can buy a good beard.
Yeah, I want to be a fly on the wall where like someone was like, okay, Zuck, like we got a way to rehab your image. Like I know you've been, kind of struggling and this, like, and we're thinking shearling jacket, little chain, and just like grow out the hair a little bit. And he's like, let's do it. And it's honestly, fits. Get fits off, and people will respect it. You guys are fitsmen, and it's also tech guys. So I think this is the way. Is the new swaggy tech guy? Is that a thing? Because I have heard that people in Silicon Valley now are like getting in on the sort of like they're all training, trying to be both like sort of smart, successful, rich, and also buff. So Zuck is trendsetting.
Coming on here was a devastating move for my dating life. This is dangerous.
But it's thrilling. I can't wait to see what he does next. Honestly, like I don't know like where it goes from here, but I think it's working for him.
Make a product, buddy. I don't know.
I got a related question.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm not going to call you guys tech guys. I don't think you guys are tech guys.
Thank
but
you.
you guys
Tech
have been
bros,
around.
tech bros.
Oh, no.
No. You guys have been around the tech bros and SF, and I've heard the culture there is a little bit washed.
Okay.
My question is that do you think the recent downfall of Allbirds is due to the recent tech layoffs that have been going on throughout the industry?
This is a hard-hitting
Do you think
question.
they correlate?
I think
there's correlation?
the rise of Allbirds was not because they had a huge customer base, but because their customer base was the VCs. All the VCs invested because they were like, I love these shoes. And I think that's a big lesson in tech is, are you pleasing regular, normal people, or are you pleasing the powerful people in your circle?
Is there a lot of Allbirds at Apple?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think they just went down when Zuck also like got hot, and he's like, okay, looking good is important. So they're like, these shoes are actually ugly.
You can be comfortable and look good at the same time. You don't have to just wear pajamas outside.
Yeah.
Kevin, I just got to the end of your document. The
What's
best
there?
question. It says, "Are we feeling bullish on Bored Apes?"
Are we? I don't know. I feel like they're poised to make a comeback. You buy them low, sell high, right?
Should we hold on our Bored Apes?
No comment.
How are we feeling about NFTs? Is that part of the crypto sort of like, we got to try
I
to
think
distance
I'm
ourselves?
bullish.
Yeah.
I think it comes back to its first thing was like, yeah, JPEGs or whatever. But now it's like, it's the thing behind it. Like, I think they're going to come back into like, give you access to things like your rewards in your stores are going to be there. Your tickets to your concert is going to be technically an NFT, your boarding pass, etc. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to come back in a different shape or form.
We're right on the verge of someone building a great, if you're an artist, especially like a burgeoning indie artist, and suppose you want to really identify who your super fans are, the people who are first in line to buy every ticket or buying one of each of your, there's no way to track that information. All this is NFTs are just putting an object and information together. It's the ultimate way to manage a fan base, and the fans, again, people like us, we shouldn't be saying the phrase NFT. It should just be how Travis is giving me the special insider code to get the merch before the general public do, because I'm a super fan.
That was always the coolest part about it. Travis Scott. No, no, it was always about sort of the fan club part or the community part, and Liquid Death does this really well, where they have like a sort of NFT like community, and it's like they get like insider inclusive deals and stuff like that. Like that part was always cool. For me, the Bored Ape part was always the part that was like, this part feels really not cool, and I'm looking at the cheapest ape you can get right now is 44,000.
I'm in.
So Kevin, you and I split it.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it is good that we are past the point in like the crypto wave that all the pumping up shit's done. Like all the posers are kind of gone. Like it's kind of like real now. Like there's like actually practical uses for this technology, and like that's good to shine a light on instead of fucking Bored Apes and. All that shit. But
I think
rocket.
that's what's hard. It's just like, that's the baggage which comes with those two words, crypto and NFTs.
That's
is
the
like,
tension. You guys are tension seekers.
I tell people at work that again, if I can be on a date with someone and say I work in crypto and it's not a red flag,
leave. Yeah,
that's how we know
That's
we did our
progress.
job. That's progress.
You ever just say I work in finance?
Sometimes it's even worse.
I work in
in digital finance.
I say I'm unemployed. What do you have going on?
The only thing worse you could say is I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
Should that be the show?
Wow.
Thank you guys so much for coming in. You're amazing. Such fans of both of you guys, and long overdue. Time flew, but thank you guys. Do you want to plug something? Do you want to say like watch our videos, Coinbase.com?
New album coming soon.
New album coming soon.
If you're in New York City and you're listening to this, we're doing something in Washington Square on Bitcoin Pizza Day, and I'm not going to say another word about it, but
I know two things, like
on May
Washington-
22nd.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Washington
this
Square
will be
Park.
out before then.
May 22nd, and then June 1st, Coinbase Pizza Month in New York also.
What are we doing?
Ordering pizza on Slice.
Oh,
On the Slice app. Just get the Slice app. It's the New York's best pizza delivery app. And that's all we'll say.
You
It's the
might
Pizza
win
Cafe.
something.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
prizes. That's all.
Yeah.
You guys figured this out. You're like, how do we get people to care about crypto? And you're like,
We're trying.
pizza.
Yeah,
Pizza. I mean, listen, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate you. Who
Thank
you
you
got
for
in the
having
rap
us.
beef? Drake, Kendrick, AI, Snoop Dogg. You know, what do we? Who do we got?
I think in a few years we're gonna look at Drake in a very different way than we do now, and I think he's had it coming for a very long time.
Whoa, Don Barron coming soon.